So I've been consumed in this Stranger Things grief all day. Like I've tried to sleep it off, but there is this crazy grief about the season ending and the series ever ending, and I just wanna. I thought like talking about it would make it go away, but it's really sad. Like the fact that it's over now and there is nothing else, no other episodes to look forward to. Like when in 2022 it ended, like I had this hope of okay, season 5 is coming out, but not anymore. So yeah, like this crazy sadness has consumed me throughout the day, and I thought I'll just talk about what my thoughts are in general. By the way, this new India kit is clean. Apollo tires. Anyways, let's talk about some spoilers, which I couldn't in the morning because I just finished watching it and I was overwhelmed by emotion. So let's talk with the negatives first. Let's get them out of the way. Where were the Demogorgons? Where were the Demobats? They took a sick leave on their biggest day of their lives. I don't understand that. How it was so easy for the gang to reach the abyss, like through the upside down. Yeah, that was kinda. I didn't understand that why it was so easy. And then the fight in itself, the final fight with the Mind Flayer and Vecna. Now I understand the concept of a hive mind. Trust me, but we can't keep doing this, guys. We can't build up villains for 10 years. Looking at you, Game of Thrones, and then end it in like 5 minutes with some Molotov cocktails or like something like that. It's just, yeah, that shouldn't how it be. At least deserved like a good 25-30 minute set play. And I have to shout out Avengers Endgame for that. So because they build up Thanos for 10 years and then they satisfyingly finished that arc off with a beautiful, I guess, a 40-minute long battle in the end. And you have to feel the weight of the loss. I know, like he took Eddie, he took so many people, right? Vecna and Mind Flayer, Barb. But I feel like this season also needed some major deaths for it to even feel more impactful. Like sit in the wreckage of the loss while you win. Now I did like the fact that Joyce got to get the final blow, but I still feel like a little bit more jeopardy, a little bit more tension. Yeah, that is one of the bigger negatives I had throughout this season. Like this season felt like it had no tension, like no stakes, which is weird because the world was ending. So I did not like that. So those two things I did not like. What else? Is there anything else I did not like? I did not like the fact that these guys almost gave me a heart attack with the Steve scene, and the Steve almost fell off, and they cut to black, and then yeah, that was rough. Yeah, 5-10 seconds for me. I was like, and then thank God, yeah. They knew what they were doing, like with the fan base and the whole Steve don't die moment for just gone on for years. They knew what they were doing, and fair enough, they got me. Good job, Duffers, Duffer brothers, Duffers. Okay, now let's talk about the good. There's so many amazing scenes in this finale, and it does take the landing, as I said in the morning. Like even despite these negatives I had, it's just does something which is very difficult to do, close a 10-year arc satisfyingly, and it does. Some of my favorite scenes were, I think the best scene ever was Hopper talking to Mike and letting him know that there's two paths, kid. Like one is the path I went on and I don't recommend it. I thought like he was talking to me in that moment. It was like very emotional. And then I liked the Dustin tribute to Eddie Munson in that scene where he is giving the speech in graduation. That was so badass. Love the obviously the last D&D moment when the final battle begin, like after the final battle, the final ever D&D game. That was so emotional. It takes me back. That scene took me back to 2016 more than any other scene. And then with the Eleven whole thing of Eleven vanished or Kali help her vanish so they could set it off. I did not like that, honestly, much. Like, just kill her off, have the balls to kill her off. I think I thought they played it safe there. But so many other scenes, like throughout the finale, where I could just remember, like, the Hopper speech to 11 before the fall big fight, oh, right in the fields. Then 11 talking back to Hopper about telling him about, now I'm not a baby anymore, I'm not a kid anymore, right? You gotta let me make my own choice. That was pretty impactful. Then I loved the Steve and Jonathan moment, where I just felt like, yeah, we both realized that Nancy ain't for us, and there is a bonding in that, which is amazingly weird, and we are weirdly amazing. And then I think I also didn't like the fact that Steve. I know, like, his character arc was complete, but still he felt like a side character. Like, he wasn't. He was just there for the vibes. And yeah, I just hoped, he was my favorite character, that he had more of a role to play in this finale. I love the fact that he becomes the sex ed teacher. That was great. Perfect, perfect ending for Steve. And he finally survives. Let's go. The movement was successful. And then Nancy joins a job in the Herald, and Jonathan is finally doing his movie anti-capitalism, the consumer. And that scene where they're talking about meeting each other once a month just got me right in the feels, where I've also made such promises to friends, and it never really turns out that way. Lumax, the most satisfying non-breakup thing ever. Like, where they were like, okay, they have suffered. Lucas and Max have suffered a lot. They deserve this moment. And finally, Dustin. Dustin, you are the GOAT, man. Dustin's ending, beautiful as well, where he goes to, like, study and then goes on adventures with Steve, Will being gay and finally getting connections in the gay bar, and of course Mike getting his own Stephen King arc. All of this is very satisfying. Like, yeah. And the final scene where I got so teary eyed there, where Mike looks back at the next generation, and he realizes that, yeah, it's their time now to have adventures. It's just a part of growing up. You have that moment. What else do I want to talk about? Yeah, the end credits were very, very, like, the choice of music. Purple Rain. When 11 was finally letting go of Mike. And the end credits music was also great. The whole epilogue was fantastic, in my opinion. The 45 minutes they took to stick the landing. I think that stuck the landing. Joyce and Hopper, how can I forget? After everything Hopper has been through, finally, my guy, let's go. And of course, after everything Joyce has been through, she finally got to live a great life and got the final blow. So, yeah, very satisfying things. What about Vecna? Vecna, I did not like. I wouldn't have liked the fact if we had turned back into a good guy to defeat the Mind Flayer. The Mind Flayer wasn't that hard to defeat anyway. By the way, the Mind Flayer looked so awesome on, like, when he turned his mouth. I thought we were in for a fight there, but it was cut short very soon. But Vecna, I just love the fact that he stuck to his guns, and he's like, yeah, he needs me as much as I need him, and he's the bad guy. And he wasn't given that cliche good guy ending where he dies fighting the Mind Flayer or something. What else? Is there anything else I'm missing? Shout out to Kali. Everybody was hating on her. She's manipulating Elle. Turns out she's not. Turns out she was just spot on. I think I talked about everything. Erica. Derek. Thank you. Derek. Delightful Derek. Suck my fat one. Straight onto the face. I think it was one of the best additions. And I would have loved. I love that scene with Derek and Mike, where Derek is looking at Mike, and Mike is like, "Hi," not knowing this guy. And I would have loved to see a season 6 where Derek was more of a role, but what can you do? Hopefully, he comes in one of the spin-offs. But yeah, Derek was a delight this season. He was amazing, delightful Derek for real. Holly was great. Like the actress who played Holly was great. I think her name is Nancy Fisher, if I'm not wrong. Nellie Fisher, sorry. Jamie Campbell, the guy who plays Vecna, killed it, bro. You gotta get out some awards for that stuff, bro. He was so good during that scene in the cave. It turns out like Mind Flayer was manipulating Vecna from the beginning, where he was not trying to get into the cave. I really want to see the Stranger Things play. I would have loved to see a lot more of Vecna's past. And the 1950s, where like the first time they go into his mind, they realize what is his memories, right? I would love a spin-off show about the 1960s Hawkins, Indiana, 1950, 1960, where the first scene we see in the flashback in his brain. I would have loved that. Where is Wiki? What happened to Wiki? I don't know. What happened to the military? That was the most stupid plotline ever. I don't understand. It was just there just to serve a purpose of L finally giving that sacrifice, and the Duffer brothers finally having to try to. That they didn't even kill that 11. Like that's just weak and safe in my opinion. But still, overall, I would say it did almost everything it was supposed to. It made me teary, and has given this feeling of sadness throughout the day to me. And yeah, I just don't know how to deal with this feeling right now, where I'm very sad that it's over. I don't know, I haven't had this post series depression for a long time, but this series is something I grew up with, and just the fact that it's over and I have to be an adult, it's horrible. And one more thing, when they were killing off Vecna, striking the final blow, I loved the flashbacks to Bob, to Barb, and then when Steve and Dustin say for Eddie once. I remember where I was in 2022 listening to Master of Puppets. Obey your master. So good. And that's the thing. This, as I said in the morning review as well, like this entire episode was a time portal to all the different versions, and I think it connected all the different time threads in a good, satisfying way, which is a very, very difficult thing to do. Ask Game of Thrones, ask so many other shows. But what will Netflix do now? Like, it lost its one of the biggest money makers in my opinion. Like, everybody is watching Stranger Things. It was one of those shows like everybody was watching, like last TV big event. And I just don't understand what is the hype of, where is the hype coming from anymore. Maybe from some K dramas or something, but because a mainstream American, North American based show, I haven't seen really get this much hype in a long time. And I will miss it. I will miss it a lot. And I just want to say thank you to Stranger Things again for a beautiful, beautiful 10-year journey. And thank you for, I don't know, just existing in tough times in my life, even right now. And just being something to look forward to in so many moments in my life. And I will always remember the characters. Loved the Steve and Dustin ending, bro. After everything they've been through together, they finally get to spend the rest of their life together. It's beautiful. I got emotional in that scene as well, where Steve just is waiting, and Dustin comes up and runs. It did not use the Farrah Fawcett. His hair is still the same, but I was just going back and watching previous scenes after the finale, and it got me so emotional. That's all I've been doing this entire day, and yeah, I guess that's it. I hope you liked it as much as I did. I'm sorry if you did not like it. I already did not meet your expectations. In a bit.